Welcome back. It's Doug NPA. We all know that marriage in 2024 for the average guy is a bad deal. Women leave men 70 to 80% of the time. Women get most of the child support, and women get most of the alimony. We're starting to see successful women have to face some of the same trials and tribulations when it comes to marriage that men traditionally have to. This headline says, I'm 41, my fiance is 61. I'm worth 1.3 million. He's worth 250K. He won't marry if I insist on a prenup. How can I protect my assets? And look at that, guys. Who does she sound like? She sounds like a lot of guys. She's insisting that her fiance, who's a man, signs a prenup. And he's saying, no, I'm not going to marry you without it. Imagine that. So let's get into this article and let's see how this woman is dealing with the script being flipped. But before I do that, like the video, subscribe, drop a comment. I really appreciate it. It shows you support me, what I'm doing over here. And let's get into this. It says, I've struggled so much financially before finding my niche, and now I'm worried about what would happen should this marriage fail. Gee, imagine that, you guys.
Jesus H. Christ.
She's worried about what would happen if the marriage would fail. Now, what kind of shaming language would women use on this person if it was a man? Put some of it in the comments. Yes. I'm 41 and my fiance is 61. I'm worth 1.3 million. I have 1.1 million in cash in my business and 200,000 on my house equity and personal checking. My career is booming. In 2015, I made $70,000, and so far this year, I've made 550,000. I have 4 teenagers, and they will soon go to college by 2021. So this is back in 2020. So she's a single mom of 4 kids, you guys.
Jesus H. Christ.
Does that recalculate this whole thing for you guys, knowing that she's a single mom of 4 kids? He's 61 and worth 250,000, including his retirement. He will move with us once we are married. I guess he will move in with us once we are married. I've struggled so much financially before finding my niche, and now I'm worrying about what would happen should this marriage fail. I've asked him for a prenuptial agreement, but he dissed the idea. He said that our marriage is going to be eternal. He said he won't marry me if I insist upon it. I am head over heels in love with him. Am I heading towards marriage with my eyes closed? We live in a community property state. How can I protect my assets without a prenuptial agreement? Torn between love or prenuptial agreement. So this is your stereotypical setup, guys. Women would say, well, you should just do it. If you ask for a prenuptial agreement, you're pretty much saying that the marriage is going to fail. Do you love her or not? All that shaming language, guys. And women who are successful, they have to do this same vetting, auditing process to make sure that they don't lose what they have in divorce court. And I don't blame them, but the double standard is sickening, you guys. It is sickening. So let's see what this moneyist has to say. He says, your fiance is a lucky man. He is 20 years your senior and in a relationship with a woman who has evidently created a successful and secure life for herself. Yeah, except for the 4 children. 4 children. Oh my goodness. You also have other financial and familiar responsibilities. I'm sorry that your fiance does not appear to appreciate that. How does he figure that? Asking for a prenuptial agreement is saying that he doesn't appreciate everything that she's done in her life. It seems to me like he appreciates it more because he wants a piece of it if they get divorced, right, guys? Your age, net worth, and children are all reasons for you both to sign a prenuptial agreement, not that you need a reason. Is this a man or a woman? Oh, this is a man. That makes it even worse. Ugh. Would you merge with the company if you were head over heels with the owner, even if you had to think about your employee's future? Would you hire an employee whose pitch did not make sense? I doubt it. It's not so different here. Marriage is a contract, and it's not wise to sign one without being 100% comfortable. But how many guys would this Quentin guy say that to? How many? If your gut says you should have a prenup, go with that. Just trust yourselves. So take notes, guys. Take notes. There are roundabout ways to protect your assets if you marry without a prenuptial agreement, including an irrevocable trust. Guys, all things are revocable when it comes to divorce court and paternity court. We've seen multiple examples of that. They're typically used by very high net worth individuals to protect their assets and not always successful. There it is, guys. There it is. Not always successful. There it is. Divorce courts increasingly have discretion in how they approach such arrangements. It can be a complicated, expensive, and unpredictable route. Another way around this is to take out a $1 million plus life insurance policy on them. Certified financial planner. He suggests that you and your children are listed as beneficiaries. Given the age difference, Cleveland also recommends adding a critical care rider. So pretty much, if he's 61, he doesn't have much more time on this planet. And she's right, guys, because most of us women live 7 to 8 years longer than men. So they talk about in a community property state, you typically take out of the marriage what you brought in, using marital funds to improve upon your home or pay the mortgage, blah, blah, but not in Texas. In Texas, community funds that are used to maintain, improve, or pay the expenses of a spouse's separate property does not give the community any ownership interest in that asset, blah, blah, blah. Divorce is an ugly, commonplace, and expensive business. If marriage is eternal, then your fiance does not have to worry about returning to his more modest single lifestyle, and he should sign it. If marriage is ephemeral, you both have more reason to be concerned. Either way, your fiance's logic does not make sense to me. Is he working now, and or will he continue to work if you marry? These are all questions that men have been having to ask themselves for the past 50 years, ever since no-fault divorce was signed. I think it was 50 years, maybe more than that. But women feel perfectly justified, and there's a machine in place that are telling them to ask for prenuptial agreements. But still, if a guy asks a woman for one, oh my goodness.
How dare you?
If you're both at the same stage of your life and even planning to buy a home together and start a family, it would make more sense to commingle your assets. But you have 4 children to put through college who I presume will one day inherit your estate. If he is not listening to your wishes or taking them seriously now, it seems unlikely that he would do so after you are married. So guys, listen up. If you become somebody or you are somebody and any woman you're with refuses to sign a prenuptial agreement, if she doesn't listen to your wishes now, how seriously it is going to take them in a marriage. Guys, you could look through this whole thing and just flip it back over to the traditional way this issue comes up. And how different would this article be? Women scoff at being asked to sign prenups. Once again.
How dare you?
And men, we're supposed to just take it on the chin. Guys, if you love her, you just marry her. What are you trying to say? That, you're not pledging your eternal love for your wife? Is that what you're trying to say? Especially all these trad cons and feminists both. All the shame, insults, guilt. Don't let anyone shame you into getting married if you want to get a prenuptial agreement, or shaming you into getting married, period, guys. Your emotional, mental, physical, and monetary health are at stake. Let me know what you think about this in the comments. Like the video, subscribe. I'll catch you on the next one.